और कुछ बेच रहे हैं?
All right, guys, welcome to another exciting episode of the Left Side View. This is the preview episode of the weekend matches with me, Rahul, and my co host, Amitabh.
Hi guys, how you doing? So we'll look at the weekend matches of the top five European leagues. Let's get into it straight away. Five matches from the Premier League, they have been postponed due to the COVID scare. On Saturday, we have two matches. The 3 o'clock start is Aston Villa against Burnley, and the tea time start is Leeds United against Arsenal. I think Villa should handle Burnley quite easily, and they have been performing well. The only losses under Gerrard at least has been to the top two teams of the league, and even in the other matches they have won and they won convincingly. And Burnley away at any place, we all know how they are going to approach the game. So I would expect Villa to win this match quite easily, frankly. With respect to the Leeds game against Arsenal, Arsenal have been on the uptrend, and same can be said about Leeds. So pressure is on Bielsa to at least have a good performance. The results matter, and we all understand that, but the performance matters more, at least in the footballing world. So the way they capitulated against City, um, we all would, expect some sort of a comeback from Leeds, at least for Bielsa's sake. If that does not happen, and given that Arsenal's form is quite good of late, uh, I think there'll be more questions asked of him and his tactics. Yeah, Rahul, over to you.
Yes, I think this is a very crucial game for Bielsa and Leeds because of the performance, that they not just the performance, but the result as well against Chelsea as well as Manchester City. The fact that they lost 7-0 to City and this is their home game, they are expected to do well. They can't have a similar performance at Ellen Road in front of their own supporters against Arsenal. So yes, if this does not really go their way, then even the people who are on the fence will start asking questions about Marcelo Bielsa, and there will be more questions for him to change his philosophy. Wherein just all attack, 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 even against teams that will punish you. So let's see.
Yeah, predictions for this match, Rahul?
I, I just don't think that Bielsa will change his philosophy. I expect Arsenal to win, but I hope that Bielsa does something that is against his nature in a way.
Yeah, even I think Arsenal will pip this match 2-1. Okay, on to the Sunday matches. The Everton Leicester match has been postponed. The next match is Wolves hosting Chelsea. Not really sure about how to, how rather this match will go. Chelsea have been off the boil of late, and Wolves have been performing particularly well at home. So, yeah, hoping Chelsea wins, but at this point of time, not really confident about it. Rahul?
Well, yes. So I think the players who are out with COVID, you just don't expect them to be back on Sunday. I mean, so those four players, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz. I mean, obviously Kai's result is not really coming, so we can't be sure about him. But yes, Timo Werner, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and Romelu Lukaku are all out. In fact, if you remember when all this started, Callum Hudson-Odoi was actually one of the first players to be tested positive. So if he has already tested positive, that's his second time. And the same goes for Kai Havertz. If he does, test positive, because we didn't really have a result till last night. If he tests positive, then even he will be uh, positive for a second time. And we all remember, what happened last season when he was positive. He was one of the most hardest hit. He was the one who was hit hardest in terms of all the Chelsea players. I remember all the press conferences of Lampard. He was like, his test is positive. He just came back from COVID. So yes, I just hope that even if he is positive, it's not as bad as it was the last time for Kai Havertz.
Yeah, any predictions for this match?
I I don't see Chelsea winning, man. I just don't.
Okay. I hope Chelsea wins. That's my
Obviously,
prediction.
my heart says Chelsea win, but if I'm like being practical with the form that we are in, I remember we lost 2-1 to Wolves last season as well. Pedro Neto scored a late
Yeah.
goal. So and the fact that our defense is already struggling so much, maybe we could see
Hmm.
N'Golo Kante start. The fact that he didn't really come on last night, not even as a sub, we Tuchel instead brought on Trevor Chalobah. So yes, we might just see, but again, I just don't want Tuchel to rush Kante either, because if he again gets injured, then again it's just not. I mean, 2 3 weeks ago we were just flying high, and all of a sudden, I'm
Yeah.
not even sure. I mean,
Decisions.
yeah, you take a look. We are 8 points ahead of Arsenal now. If we drop points, Arsenal win their game against Leeds, then the difference is just 5 points. Maybe then even third will be uh, a problem for us. So again, a very crucial game. But then we have been saying this. Not only we, but even Tuchel has been saying this. I'm pretty sure to the squad for the past 3 or 4 weeks. The game against United, the game against Burnley, uh, the win against Watford, the loss against West Ham, and Leeds, now Everton. So yes.
Yeah. Yeah, on to the next game. It is Newcastle against Manchester City. So you are in the relegation zone, and you play Liverpool and City back to back in 3 4 days. All the best, Newcastle.
Yeah, I don't think we need to say any more about it. A standard win for City, 2-0, 3-0. Yeah.
Yeah, and the final match again, it has not been confirmed that it has been postponed yet, but decisions will be taken closer to the game. It is Tottenham against Liverpool. So Tottenham have not played the past 2 rounds, and they also missed one round due to snow, I guess, in November. So against Liverpool, who are in red hot form. So if this match happens, I think Tottenham players, there will be questions about their match fitness and their ability to perform at the highest level against one of the best teams in Europe right now.
Plus, we don't even know
So
if the match does go on, who will play. Because
yeah, I
according to the COVID
mean,
protocols, all you need is at least 13 fit players, including a goalkeeper.
yeah. So yeah, maybe things will be lucky again for Liverpool. Even their players, Van Dijk, Fabinho, and
Curtis Jones, I think.
Jones,
Yeah, Curtis
Curtis
Jones.
Jones, they were tested positive yesterday. So the tests are happening on a regular basis, and the results are being shared with the media on a real-time basis. So let's see what happens in the next 48 hours. If this match goes ahead, then who are the players who are participating in the match?
But that's the
Um,
thing, with Liverpool. I think even if Liverpool are missing players, the players who come in, they just
yeah,
don't make you look like anyone's missing. The fact that Liverpool B team managed to beat AC Milan, I think similar can be said about Liverpool. They just keep on rolling. Reds are in red hot form, for want of a better word.
I mean, I wanted to say one thing. I mean, right from the start of the season, we have heard that Chelsea has the best squad, and and the depth is too much and all that. But one thing where our squad lacks against the cities and Liverpools of the world, I think their squad is much more better drilled. So everybody knows their roles, and when you swap players, the the play is not affected, the game is not affected, the change is seamless for us. When the personnel changed, we can see a visible change in the way the game is approached or the game is played, the outcome that is achieved. So I think that City and Liverpool still have the strongest squad in the Premier League. um, yeah, so if this match goes ahead, I think Liverpool should win it, but let's wait and watch what
But
happens.
yes, to answer your question, I think it is expected as well, because this is again Klopp's sixth full season in charge, uh,
Yeah.
and seventh, I think, in total. He joined in October 2015. So yes, in a way, he has already been here. Again, Guardiola full season in charge as well. So all these players, whereas it's a good thing for Chelsea as well as a bad thing. Bad thing because the fact that all these managers, Guardiola and Klopp, have been there for a long time. So obviously, Tuchel has not even completed 1 year. But it's a good thing because just imagine that we are comparing a team and who has only played under Tuchel for not even 1 year against teams like City and Liverpool who have been doing this for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, so actually, this is what I was hinting at, that the stability with respect to the coaches, it matters a lot, and you need at least 2 or 3 transfer windows in order to have the team according to your own will and wish. So, yeah, I just hope that because this is the same thing, this sort of a deja vu. December, November end was the time last year when things started going bad for Lampard. I'm not saying this will have the same sort of an outcome, but I think we should support and stick by Tuchel for a longish period of time to
Yes,
reap the results.
because
Yeah,
I just feel like for if push were to come to shove, right? For instance, even if we lose 3 4 matches, I just don't think there is anyone better out there than Tuchel. I
yeah,
just don't see it. Maybe a Julian Nagelsmann, but he just joined Bayern Munich. No matter who you get, I just don't think they would do a better job than Tuchel as compared to when Klopp has been at Liverpool for 6 years, Guardiola has been there for more than 5 years. But yeah, we can probably conversation for another day. But yeah,
yeah. I mean, yeah. I just wanted to put it out there that
I
stability is
agree.
important, and if you want to see that level of performance, you need at least some amount of time. Because if you remember, the start for Klopp was not the best.
Uh,
Even in his first season, I remember Guardiola saying that
so
a lot of hype was made of Mourinho, Guardiola, and Klopp, but maybe Conte is the best of them all.
it's not just
So
about the start. I think it's not just about that. When you take into consideration, I think in a way, it's the fact that we managed to win the Champions League that has actually raised our expectations and the expectations of others. Otherwise, City clearly a better side than Chelsea. But if I don't even talk about that, uh, Guardiola did not win even a single trophy in his first season. Klopp
yeah,
took him came in 2015. How many finals did he lose? He even lost to Sevilla in the Europa League final. Lost to
yeah,
City so many times in the
lost to
Carabao Cup.
Madrid.
His first, yeah, Madrid in the Champions League final 2018. Uh,
Yeah.
yes, so finally, like it took him almost 3.5 years. In 2019, the Champions League again, like Klopp, first trophy Champions League. Sorry, like Tuchel, first trophy Champions League, and ready for Klopp, his first trophy. Uh, in 3.5 or 4 years, the Champions League. But the only difference is that Tuchel's first trophy, the Champions League, came within 4 or 5 months. For Klopp, it came 3.5 years. And then
Yeah.
again, the fact that you then managed to win the Premier League next season, and then just has stopped. So that's what I'm saying. Like if we give Tuchel as well that kind of stability, I think we can do something similar, especially with our academy, with the young players coming in. And we have seen Tuchel do this. He was at Mainz for 5 years. Then maybe he was only at Dortmund for 2 seasons, but then even 2.5 years, 3 seasons at PSG. So yes, if given time, I think Tuchel, especially when you talk about the Guardiolas and Klopps already at a club, there's no one else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's hope this association goes on for a long period of time.
Yes.
Okay, going on to the other leads, we have Bayern facing off Wolfsburg tonight. Um, on Saturday, we have Leipzig against Arminia by Bielefeld,
Mhm.
and we have Hertha against Dortmund.
Well, yeah, so we can talk about Bayern Munich. I think the fact that they're playing at home, the Allianz Arena, Wolfsburg, they've already sacked one manager, and even with the new manager, things really haven't improved much. Marco van Bommel was the manager, I think, before the new manager came in, hasn't really managed to organize the squad. And against
Yeah,
Bayern Munich, who are just so unforgiving, I just don't see anything other than a victory for Bayern Munich. Um, this is the
yeah,
third game now for Leipzig under the manager Dominic Tedesco. Um, So second home game, which I think they do have a good home form. So especially after the fact that they dropped points against Augsburg in their last game, which was away from home, I do expect them to maybe get back on track a little bit. I do see them winning at least. The third game is Dortmund. I think Hertha Berlin are in the second half of the table in the
Yeah,
Bundesliga.
they're 14th.
They're 14th. Dortmund are second. So on paper, you would say that Dortmund are going to win, but we have seen, Dortmund have these patches wherein, especially away from home, they drop points, be it a loss or a draw. However, having said that, I do see them winning. I do see Haaland, getting on the score sheet. That's I would say about the Bundesliga. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, barring Dortmund's away form, I think the matches should be pretty straightforward for these teams.
Yes.
Let's just hope Bayern scores just 2 or 3 goals against Wolfsburg.
Actually, there's one more
they have
interesting
been,
stat. I think Lewandowski
yeah,
needs one more goal. I think to
to break Gerd Muller's record on maximum number of goals in the calendar year.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so yeah, man, but he'll still not get the Ballon d'Or. So let's not start that debate.
Well, he'll get the
Messi
best
is
player
more,
award. Or the
yeah,
best
yeah,
attacking
Messi
player
is
award.
more important.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Another match of consequence is Hoffenheim against Mönchengladbach. Hoffenheim are in the top 4. Would you like to cover this as well?
Yes, Hoffenheim actually, have risen up the table and they're actually at fourth, right?
Yeah,
Whereas the same can't be said about Mönchengladbach. Initially, they were so good under the manager. I think even their last game, they lost to Eintracht Frankfurt, if I'm not wrong.
yes, they lost 2-3.
Yeah, they lost at home 2-3 to Eintracht Frankfurt. I mean, and I think Frankfurt already had a man sent off and still playing at home against a team down 10 men, they still could not win. I think the manager Adi Hooter could be, I mean, if things don't improve, because it's not just about the performances, but the manner of those defeats. Losing 6-0 at home to Freiburg, 3-2 to a team down to 10 men. And then I think they also lost last week. They had a heavy defeat. So if things don't, I know that they managed to beat Bayern Munich 5-0 in DFB Pokal, but that game seems like an ancient history.
Yeah, yeah. Moving on, in the Serie A, we have Lazio against Genoa and Salernitana against Inter tonight. It should be pretty easy for Inter. As far as Lazio and Genoa is concerned, Sarri against Shevchenko.
Shevchenko, yes.
So, yeah, so looking forward to that match. I think at home, Lazio should have the better of Genoa. But then, yeah, we'll wait and see what happens tonight.
Well, yes, I feel, for Shevchenko a little bit. Ever since he's come in, he's had this difficult run of fixtures. All the big teams together, games coming thick and fast. Obviously, that's not an excuse because you will have to play these teams at some point in time. His luck or bad luck is that he has to play all these teams together. Already played AC Milan, already played Juventus, and not been able to get a point, I think, against any of these. He already played against Roma as well. And now he's playing Lazio. Lazio, no matter what you say about their away form or their form in the Europa League, but at least in Serie A at home, they do turn up. So yes, I think Lazio are going to win. Other than that, we can talk about the Inter Milan versus Salernitana game. They already lost 4-0 in the last game to Fiorentina. Vlahovic scored. Salernitana, I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but yes, they are led by the veteran French forward Franck Ribéry. But again, it's more like a star name than someone who can actually contribute. He's already 37, 38. So yeah, I think they lost 4-0 away to Fiorentina last time out, and now they're playing at home. But Inter Milan, I think a 3 or a 4-0 victory for Inter Milan.
Okay, moving on. We have high-flying Atlanta against Roma on Saturday. So both the teams have been doing well. more also for Atalanta than Roma. So we all know how Mourinho's Roma will set up, and Atalanta will have those pacey attacks and trying to score as many goals as possible. At home, Atlanta should get the better of Roma, or do you think otherwise?
Actually, yes, I think even though I am a little Mourinho fanboy, but still, uh, I think Atlanta are going to win because the form that Roma has scored have shown under Mourinho. I think, especially in the big games. To my surprise, they've actually not turned up in any of the big games. They got a draw against Napoli at home, lost at home to AC Milan, lost at home to Inter Milan. Like that match against Inter Milan, I still can't fathom that it didn't look like it was a team coached by Mourinho or even a team trying to finish in the top four. It seemed like it was a team that was in the relegation zone up against a team that is looking to win the championship. They lost 3-0 and oh man. But yes, that's another reason. Maybe it's something that's recency bias. Uh, that because of these matches, I'm even more skeptical of Roma's chances away to Atalanta. But having said that, I do feel like because no matter what happens to Roma, Mourinho will if they don't play well, then he will just say that we don't really have a good squad. Just look at their bench and just look at our bench. We need signings, and if he manages to play well, then he will again be like,
Yeah,
then
I
he
did
will,
great.
yeah. Having said that, I do feel that Roma, who are sorry, Atlanta, who are actually now third, just I think 4 points or 3 points behind the leaders Inter Milan. I think 4 points. Yeah, so they are on 36. Inter are on 40. So yes, they are just 4 points behind Inter Milan. If Atlanta want to actually uh, do anything about not just finishing third but actually going for the title, then yes, this is actually a very good chance against Mourinho's Roma. But again,
Yeah,
a big game, no doubt about that.
yeah. The second match is Bologna facing off against Juventus. And do you see Juventus doing well here?
They drew their last game against Venezia, 1-1. Having said that, I know that even though Bologna are, I think, down in the table, but their manager, Sirisa Mihalovic, I think they do have that capability of turning up in big matches. So I remember they've already beaten Mourinho's Roma 1-0 just a couple of weeks ago. So I won't be surprised, wherein they probably put in Juventus strategy, wherein they score the first goal and then they just defend till the 90th minute. So that could happen for Bologna as well against Juventus. Juventus, I think, already missing some key players. Dybala also hobbled off in their last match. Difficult. I mean, that's what it is now with Juventus. Away from home, they are just so difficult to bet on. And yes, I could actually see a draw here for some reason. I don't know why, but I have this feeling that it is going to be a draw.
Yeah. Moving on to the Sunday round of fixtures. I think this is the fixture of the weekend. AC Milan against Napoli. Both the teams were heading the Serie A until very recently, and Inter have taken them over now. So Milan at home against the high-flying Napoli side. Do you think this will be a draw? I'm somehow tending towards that result.
Well, draw would make sense, for other teams, but for these two teams, I don't think it would.
No, I mean, of course, if you ask them, both will want to win, but I think somehow they'll cancel each other out. Um,
I,
yeah, I
I think
mean, you
Napoli are
can't
still.
really.
I think
Yeah,
even the
please go ahead.
Napoli are missing a couple of players, but they've already had, I think, some of those players back who were on the bench in their last match against Empoli. Yes, so we have to consider that Napoli lost at home last time out against Empoli, and AC Milan, I think, drew away to Udinese. So both the teams,
Udinese.
yeah, AC Milan are already second, just 1 point behind Inter Milan. Now the fact that Inter Milan play a day or a couple of days before AC Milan, so there will be added pressure on them. If Inter Milan win their match night against Salernitana, then that difference will be four points. So the same pressure will be on AC Milan as well as uh, Napoli. And if let's say then Atalanta also managed to beat Roma, AC Milan will actually not be second; they will be third. So then it will become third versus the fourth place team. And so
Yeah.
yes, I think both the teams will go for it.
Yeah, I think the matches, the Inter and Atlanta matches before this match happening will have some sort of effect on this match. And if both those teams win, then these guys will have to fight it out for the 3 points because, yeah, the gap would have started to build and they would like to reduce it as soon as possible. Um, so there's no Liga action. There's Coupe de France this week. So we'll move on to the Spanish La Liga. Barcelona at home against Elche. Do you think this game will be an easy win for the Catalan club?
So let me just check something here. All right, yes. So Barcelona are 8th in the table and Elche are 16th in the table. So on paper, obviously, even though no matter how bad things get, for Barcelona, but playing at home against Elche, they would expect to win this game. And I actually think that they will, even if it's a 1-0 victory or a 2-1. But I think this game at least they'll manage to get some
Yeah,
points.
I mean the biggest issue for teams that have fallen from grace even in the past is the fear factor being gone. Um, Even the lights off, and with no disrespect to any of the small clubs, when the clubs we saw this again for United. When the clubs come to these
Old
stadiums
Trafford.
now, yeah, so they are just not afraid anymore. So they'll maybe go for it. They'll at least do their end of the work stoutly and then maybe nick a goal and then get that victory. We saw so many teams winning for the first time at Old Trafford in the past 4 5 years. So and I think Barcelona will have to go through this phase also. Again, on paper, the match seems easy. I mean, the Barcelona should win, but the problem is that football is not played on paper. So let's see. The other match is Sevilla against Atletico Madrid. Sevilla are second in the league, I guess, and against Atletico Madrid. Sitting on the fence again, away match, Atletico already, it's very difficult to bet on them, frankly, because when you go into a match with only defense on your mind and thinking or rather hoping that you will nick a goal in the second half of the second half. So I don't think that is a strategy that gives a lot of hope and optimism to the crowd or even to us as a neutral audience. So Sevilla, I don't know. I think I'll tend to narrow win for Sevilla or a draw.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
realize that Atletico are actually fourth now. So both Atletico and Sevilla have played 16 games, and Real Betis, who are third, and Real Madrid, they have played 17 matches. So Sevilla and Atletico both have a game in hand. But having said that, Atletico are fourth, man. They've already lost to Real Madrid last weekend away from home, and now they're playing Sevilla away from home. My God, seriously, the way the season started, we thought that they were going to win it all, and now they're fourth already. So we said this about them last week that if they have any hopes of harboring a title challenge, then they need to beat Real Madrid. That didn't happen, but then the same thing applies this weekend as well. They needed to turn up and
Yeah.
have a good performance. And the fact that both
You can,
teams had no midweek matches, so I'm pretty sure both the teams had enough time to prepare for this match. But
yeah.
yes, you're right. I agree with you that
It
I
is
do see
difficult for any
Sevilla.
team. Yeah, it is difficult for any team to be ultra defensive and think about the championship. It is as simple as that. I mean, last season we all know the kind of mess Madrid and Barcelona were in, and even then Atletico hobbled their way towards the title. So this season Madrid have been showing good form, and yeah, I mean, let's hope that this is a good match, but not really
Yeah,
hope,
man. I'm just surprised that even
So
Real Betis have overtaken Atletico Madrid.
yeah, so that was the thought around, last week when Atletico lost and Barcelona are like 5 points off Atletico.
Hmm.
So that was the thought whether they can get into the top four. Let's see. Let's see. On Sunday we have Real Madrid against Cadiz. Uh, Again, seems to be a pretty straightforward fixture, and Madrid should win it pretty comprehensively. Any different thoughts?
Just give me 1 second. If I'm not wrong, I think I think last season, yes, I was right. So last season, Cadiz, who had been promoted to La Liga last season from the Segunda Division, they actually beat Real Madrid 1-0 at the Bernabeu.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. And then in
Yeah,
the
they did.
corresponding fixture, the away match for Real Madrid, that's when they managed to beat them 3-0. So yes, we can't say that Cadiz are not capable of beating Real Madrid because they did that last season. But yes, at this, like the way that these two teams are playing this season, at Real Madrid top of the league, no midweek fixture. So yes, I don't really see an upset this time around. I think that they will maintain their cushion that they have over the second place team. And if obviously Sevilla draw points, then maybe that cushion or that lead could even increase. So I do see Real Madrid winning this match.
Okay, fine. That brings us to the end of the preview of all the top five leagues. As stated earlier, France have the Coupe de France, so not really discussing the cup competition here. Looking forward to the weekend matches, and I just hope that the COVID situation is managed in a better manner by all the authorities concerned. Anything you'd like to say, Rahul?
No, I just wish that things get better, not just from a football perspective, but I just hope that this Corona thing just goes away, man. Yeah, things return to normalcy. Yeah. So that was it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.